Since you were a child, you were taught that if you want something in life, you must ask for it. Ask with faith. Ask with your heart. But this is the biggest lie ever told about manifestation. You're making a serious mistake. And that's why your desires are not coming true. If you're asking the universe, you're doing everything wrong. The real secret of manifestation isn't in asking, but in commanding. Yes, there's a key that very few people know about, and it can transform your reality right now. And if you stay stuck in this cycle of asking and waiting, you'll lose access to the power you already have within you. The universe doesn't respond to requests. It responds to orders and commands. And as long as you keep asking, you're separating yourself from what you desire. Understand this: when you ask, you're taking a position of lack. Please give me this. If only I had that. I need this. It's like shouting to the universe, I don't have, I'm not, I don't deserve. And the universe simply mirrors that energy of scarcity, pushing your dreams even further away. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel Vibrating Prosperity so you don't miss any powerful content like this. In today's video, you'll learn something hidden for millennia that will transform your reality forever. Time is running out. Every second you spend trapped in this vicious cycle of asking and waiting is a second stolen from your life. How many opportunities have already slipped away? How many promises have you made to yourself that you never kept? How many times have you thought, today will be different, but today became yesterday and nothing changed? The truth is, the universe doesn't work with please. It responds to certainty, to conviction, to authority. Imagine for a moment that you don't need to beg for anything, that everything you desire already exists here and now, just waiting for you to claim it. Yes, claim it. Don't ask, claim. Tell the universe, this is my reality, I accept it now. Let me explain something that very few people know. The greatest manifestors in history, those who built empires, turned ideas into global movements and shaped the world, they didn't ask for anything. They commanded. They declared their intentions with absolute clarity. They visualized their outcomes as if they were already real. They acted as if success was inevitable. And the universe obeyed. This isn't magic, it's not luck, it's quantum physics. It's the law of attraction in its purest form. When you change your vibration, when you shift from a state of begging to a state of ownership, the universe rearranges everything around you to reflect this new frequency. People, resources, opportunities, all these things start flowing naturally toward you. But here's the secret no one tells you. You first need to stop asking, stop doubting, stop hesitating. Replace doubt with certainty. Trade waiting for action. And above all, take control of your internal narrative. Because the universe doesn't understand maybe. It understands yes or no. And it's up to you to decide which command you'll give. Stay with me until the end, because today I'm going to reveal how to activate this hidden power. Today you'll learn the forgotten code. And when you apply it, your life will never be the same again. Have you noticed that people who truly manifest their desires seem to be asking for anything? They radiate a different energy, an energy of certainty, of power, of authority. Meanwhile, most people are stuck in a vicious cycle. They ask, they wait, they get frustrated, and then they go back to asking again. It's like knocking on the same door, hoping it will open, without realizing they're using the wrong key. But here's the shocking truth. You don't need to ask to receive. In fact, the act of asking is what's keeping you from achieving what you desire. Why? Because asking implies lack. And where there's lack, there's resistance. And where there's resistance, the universe responds with more lack. Now imagine for a moment that you already have everything you desire, that you already are the person you want to be, that your reality is already aligned with your dreams. Sounds impossible. It's not. It just seems that way because we've been conditioned to think small. We've been taught to doubt ourselves, to believe that success is scarce, that it must be earned through effort, that it must be deserved. But the universe doesn't operate on merit. It operates on vibration, on the frequency you emit. And when you vibrate at the frequency of lack, fear, or doubt, that's exactly what the universe reflects back to you. The good news is, you can change this. Now, right this moment, all you need to do is change how you communicate with the universe. Stop asking, stop pleading, and start commanding. But how does this work in practice? How do you move from a state of begging to a state of ownership? Let me show you. First, understand this. Everything that exists has already been created. The universe is infinite. It's not limited by time, space, or resources. Everything you desire, whether it's love, abundance, health, or success, already exists. You're not creating something new. You're simply bringing into your reality something that's already part of the whole. So, what's the secret? The secret is to claim it. Tell the universe, I accept this now, without hesitation, without doubt, without conditions. Simply declare, this is my reality. And the universe will rearrange everything around you to make it true. But pay attention, this isn't just affirming. Many people think that repeating positive phrases is enough to attract what they want, and they fail. Why? Because they're still vibrating at the frequency of doubt. They say, I'm wealthy, but deep down they think, but I still don't have money. They affirm, I'm healthy, but they continue feeling symptoms of illness. That doesn't work. To command the universe, you need to feel as if you already have it, as if you already are it, as if you're already living that reality. This means you need to take control of your mind, your energy, your vibration. You need to stop looking outward and start looking inward, because the only thing standing between you and what you desire is you. And here's the big paradox. While you're trying to get something, you're reinforcing the idea that you don't have it yet. And the more you focus on that lack, the further you push away what you want. But when you adopt the posture of someone who already has, who already is, the universe has no choice but to reflect that back to you. For example, think of someone who won the lottery. What happens? Before they even receive the money, they start acting as if they're already rich. They buy new things, plan trips, talk as if the money is already in their account. And you know what happens? The universe follows that pattern. The energy of abundance flows naturally toward them. The same happens in every area of life. Relationships, career, health, it all follows the same principle. If you act as if you already have it, the universe responds as if you already do. It's that simple. But here's the crucial detail. You need to believe. Deeply believe. Believe with every atom of your being, because the slightest doubt, the smallest thought of maybe, creates a gap. And that gap allows the energy of lack to creep back in. So, how do you develop this absolute belief? By training your mind, rewriting your internal stories, eliminating limiting beliefs that tell you you don't deserve, that you're not capable, that you need to struggle to achieve. Those beliefs are like invisible chains keeping you stuck where you are. Fortunately, those chains can be broken, and when you break them, transformation becomes inevitable. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. The darkness has no choice but to disappear. Today, you have the opportunity to take this step, to leave behind the wrong model that keeps you trapped, to learn to command instead of ask. And when you master this, everything changes, absolutely everything. Now imagine for a moment that your life is like a painting. Every brushstroke you make, consciously or not, defines the picture being created. And the most powerful tool you have at your disposal isn't desire, it's intention. But here's the catch. Intention isn't just wanting something. Intention is a clear, firm, and unshakable declaration of who you are and what you demand for your reality. Because deep down, the universe isn't a thinking being. It doesn't judge, evaluate, or choose. It simply responds to the signal it receives. And that signal doesn't come from the words you say, but from the energy you carry. It's as if every thought, emotion, and belief were invisible waves emanating from you and echoing through the cosmos. These waves build, shape, and recreate your reality every second. But here's the problem. Most people send mixed signals. They say, "I want love," but they vibrate loneliness. They say, "I want abundance," but they vibrate scarcity. They say, "I want health," but they vibrate fear of illness. The universe doesn't understand contradictions. It only picks up the dominant frequency. And when that frequency is one of lack, fear, or doubt, well, you already know the result. So, how do you change that? How do you ensure that your commands to the universe are clear, firm, and aligned with what you truly desire? The answer lies in two fundamental pillars: clarity and certainty. First, clarity. To command something, you need to know exactly what you want. It can be something vague like, "I want to be happy," or "I want success." The universe doesn't understand abstract concepts. It needs details. You need to visualize what happiness means to you. How does it manifest? How does it feel? What color is it? What sound does it make? The more specific you are, the easier it will be for the universe to respond. Second, certainty. This is the most challenging part for most people because it requires you to let go of any trace of doubt. Certainty isn't built with words alone. It's built with emotions, with sensations, with absolute conviction. When you command something from the universe, you need to feel as if it has already happened. Feel it with every fiber of your being. It's not enough to say, "I am wealthy." You need to feel wealth, feel the weight of money in your hands, feel the security it brings, feel the freedom it provides. This may seem difficult at first, especially if you're used to vibrating lack. But here's the good news: you don't need to change everything at once. All you need to do is start training your mind to focus on what you want instead of what you don't want. Start small. Choose an area of your life, maybe it's your health, your relationships, or your career, and declare with absolute certainty, "I command this area to reflect prosperity, harmony, and success." Repeat it every day, feel it every day, and watch as changes begin to emerge. But remember, the universe follows the rule of least effort. It doesn't like resistance. So, if you command something and then doubt, question, or hesitate, you'll create static in your connection with the cosmos. It's like trying to tune into a radio station while constantly turning the dial. The sound comes out distorted, fragmented. Similarly, if you oscillate between certainty and doubt, the universe won't be able to give you a clear response. That's why the next step is learning to calibrate your energy. And this starts with observation. Observe your thoughts, observe your emotions, observe how you react to everyday situations. Whenever you notice that you're vibrating lack, fear, or frustration, stop, breathe, and redirect your attention to something that makes you feel powerful, grateful, and secure. Remember, gratitude is one of the most powerful tools you have. When you feel gratitude, you automatically raise your vibration. And when your vibration is high, the universe responds with clarity and speed. Another crucial point is understanding that commanding the universe isn't a passive act. It's not enough to declare something and wait for things to fall from the sky. You need to take action. But these actions aren't efforts in the traditional sense. They're movements aligned with the energy you're creating. For example, if you've commanded financial abundance, this might mean starting to invest in new skills, seeking opportunities, or even sharing your prosperity with others. The key is that your actions are in harmony with the reality you're projecting. And here's the big difference. When you command with clarity, certainty, and alignment, the universe doesn't just respond, it multiplies. It amplifies. It brings results that go beyond what you imagined possible. Because in the end, the universe has no limits. The only limits that exist are the ones you create in your own mind. So think about this. What are you willing to command today? What reality are you ready to create? Because from this moment on, you're no longer a victim of circumstances. You're the architect of your life, and the power to transform everything around you is in your hands. From this moment on, you're going to stop asking and start commanding, because now you know the universe doesn't decide for you. It simply reflects who you are. And if you want to change your reality, you need to change what you're emitting. But how do you do that? The answer lies in three fundamental elements: inner voice, feeling, and mental image. First, the inner voice. What you say to yourself daily shapes your reality. If you repeat phrases like "this is hard" or "I can't," you're commanding your own limitation. But when you affirm, "it's already mine," "I am worthy of this now," or "reality obeys who I am," you begin to raise your vibration. Your mind is like a garden. Plant powerful thoughts and they will grow. Replace doubts with certainties, fears with convictions. Second, the feeling. Words alone aren't enough. You need to feel the truth of what you're affirming. The universe responds to the emotion behind your words. Saying "I am rich" without feeling abundance attracts more scarcity. But when you feel wealth as something inevitable, something that already flows in your life, everything changes. To access this emotional state, use gratitude. Focus on what you already have and feel genuine appreciation. That elevated energy attracts more of the same into your life. Third, the mental image. Close your eyes and clearly visualize the future you desire. Don't imagine it superficially. See, feel, and live that scene as if it's already real. What would it feel like to walk through that new scenario? What would it feel like to touch its details? The more vivid that image, the more powerful your command to the universe. Remember, the universe doesn't distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It responds to the energy you project. When these three elements, inner voice, feeling, and mental image, are aligned, you become an unstoppable force. You're no longer asking, you're commanding, and the universe has no choice but to obey. Because it doesn't question your commands, it simply reflects your energy. Now think about this. Your current reality is the result of the commands you've sent until today, consciously or not. Everything in your life was created by you. Every situation, every person, every challenge, it all came as a response to what you already believed to be true. And here's the big difference. When you command with clarity, certainty, and conviction, the universe multiplies. It amplifies. It brings results that go beyond what you imagined possible, because the universe has no limits. The only limits that exist are the ones you create in your mind. So start today. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what do I want to create? Who do I choose to be? Command that to the universe with clarity and authority. Remember, you don't need to beg. You don't need to wait. You are the creator of your reality, and the power to transform everything around you is in your hands. Are you ready to embrace that role? Because here is the truth that few have the courage to face. The universe doesn't work based on what you expect. It responds to who you are. And if, until now, your life reflects lack, limitation, or frustration, it's because, at some level, you've been vibrating those realities. You've been acting, thinking, and feeling like someone who is still searching, still struggling, still waiting. But imagine for a moment that everything changes now. Imagine that you decide, with unwavering certainty, that you already are the person you've always wanted to be. That you already live in the reality of your dreams. This doesn't mean denying your current circumstances. It means transcending them. It means seeing beyond what the eyes can perceive. Because physical reality is only a temporary reflection of the energy you carry within you. And that energy begins with a decision, a conscious choice of who you want to be. Not tomorrow, not when things get better. Now, at this very moment. Because the universe doesn't understand time. It doesn't know what later or when means. It only understands the present, the now. And it's in that space where you have the power to recreate everything. So ask yourself this question. Who do I choose to be today? Someone who waits for better conditions to be happy? Or someone who decides they are already happy, prosperous and complete, regardless of circumstances? This choice isn't just a philosophical idea. It's practical, it's tangible, and it starts with small changes. Begin to observe how you talk to yourself. Replace phrases like, "I'll try" with "I already am." Change, "I hope it works out" to "It's already done." Stop feeding doubts and fears. They're commands you send without realizing it. Instead, declare your new reality with absolute conviction. Feel it, live it as if it's already true. But remember, this isn't about pretending. It's not about ignoring challenges. It's about recognizing that behind those challenges, there's a greater force. A force you can access when you decide to take control of your energy. When you decide you will no longer be a victim of circumstances, but their creator. And here's the secret that will accelerate everything. Aligned action. Yes, action. Because commanding the universe isn't about sitting still waiting for miracles. It's about moving in the direction of what you desire, as if it's already happening. If you want abundance, start acting like someone who already has it. Give, invest, share. If you want love, love first. If you want success, live as if you're already successful. These actions aren't efforts to achieve something. They're reflections of the energy you already embody. When you combine this type of action with your internal declarations, something extraordinary happens. The universe responds quickly. It rearranges the pieces around you to reflect your new vibration, and changes begin to emerge in ways you couldn't have imagined. People appear, opportunities arise, resources flow, all because you decided to become the source of that new reality. But beware, this requires commitment. It demands that you let go of old thought patterns, that you stop doubting yourself, that you set aside the fear of failure or of not being worthy, because deep down, those fears are just illusions. They don't exist outside of you. They're shadows projected by your own mind. Now think about this. What are you willing to create? Which version of yourself do you choose to live? From this moment on, you have the power to decide, to command, to transform, and when you do it with clarity and certainty, reality has no choice but to obey. Because in the end, it's not about what you want, it's about who you decide to be. Reality is much more than you were made to believe. You were taught to see the world as a place of scarcity, where only those who struggle and suffer succeed. But that's an illusion created to keep you trapped. Trapped in fear, doubt, and the feeling that you're not capable. Who benefits from that? Who wins when you give up your power? There's an invisible system that thrives while you see yourself as small and limited. It was designed to distract you, to make you believe the answers are outside of you. But that system fears the moment you awaken. Because when you wake up, you'll realize that the power has always been within you. You'll discover that you don't need to ask, beg, or wait. Everything you desire already exists, ready to be commanded by you. And on that day, no one will be able to control you anymore. This could be your moment. Are you ready to see beyond? To embrace your true strength and claim what is rightfully yours? The choice is yours, and it starts now. Now that you know the truth, there's one final step. Understanding isn't enough. You need to reprogram your mind to operate in this new reality. And for that, there are 3 keys. First key, cancellation. Every thought of lack, scarcity, or fear must be interrupted the moment it arises. Don't allow those ideas to take root. Declare firmly, "This isn't true, I don't accept this reality," because if you don't cancel it, you validate it. And what you validate manifests. Second key, replacement. Cancellation isn't enough. You need to fill that space with a new belief. When your mind says, "I never get money," respond without hesitation, "I am a magnet for abundance. Money flows to me effortlessly." Sounds simple? That's because it is. But the constant repetition of this replacement reprograms your brain and recalibrates your energy. Third key, connection. Words alone don't change anything. You need to feel the truth of what you're declaring. It's the emotion behind the statement that communicates to the universe what needs to be reflected. If your vibration is aligned with certainty, the universe responds instantly. But if there's doubt, the result will be inconsistent. Connect with the feeling of what you desire. Feel it as if it's already real. Because when you live it internally, external reality has no choice but to obey. Now, the only question left is, are you ready to claim this power? The moment has come when you must choose who you will be from this point forward. Because now you can no longer pretend that you don't know. You can no longer hide behind the idea that you're just a spectator of life, at the mercy of circumstances. This choice is clear and non-negotiable. Continue being someone who asks, waits, and doubts, or become someone who commands, manifests, and conquers. Because in the end, everything comes down to one thing. What do you believe is true? If you believe you need to struggle, suffer, and pay a high price for happiness, then that will be your reality. You'll attract situations that confirm that belief. Endless struggles, sacrifices, and scarcity. But if you decide, here and now, that you are already worthy, that you already have, that you are already complete, the universe will begin to reflect exactly that. It will deliver opportunities, resources, and people that validate this new energy. And everything will start to change before your eyes. But remember, this change begins with a decision, a conscious choice to leave behind the old beliefs that limited you, to set aside fear and doubt, to take control of your vibration, your energy, your creative power, because deep down, you've always been the architect of your reality. The only difference is that now you know it. So I ask you again, are you ready to stop asking and finally claim your power? The choice is yours, and it starts now. Now you know that reality isn't fixed, that the universe doesn't have its own will, and that everything around you has always been responding to what you emit. The power has always been yours. From the beginning, it's always been within you, but the question that remains is, what will you do with it? Many have heard these words before. Many have understood the logic behind them, but few have had the courage to put them into practice. Because claiming this power demands something deep. It demands that you abandon excuses, that you leave behind the victim identity, that you stop blaming the world, circumstances, or others for what's in your life. Claiming this power means looking at your reality, all your achievements, challenges, joys, and pains, and saying with absolute conviction, everything here, I created it, and if I created this, then I can create something new. This truth may scare you. It may confront every limiting belief you've carried until now. It may expose fears you'd rather keep hidden. But here's the paradox. This same truth can also set you free, because the moment you accept that you are the sole creator of your reality, you become limitless. There are no more external barriers, no more predetermined destinies, no more scarcity. All that exists is you, your energy, your intention, your command. And when you command with clarity, certainty, and authority, the universe simply obeys. So make a decision now. From this moment on, you no longer ask, you command. And reality, it has no choice. It simply aligns with what you declare. But remember, Knowing isn't enough. Understanding isn't enough. Transformation only happens when you decide to act. When you decide to live as someone who already has, already is, already belongs. So what will your choice be? Will you continue living in the shadow of doubts and fears? Or will you emerge as the protagonist of your story, commanding the universe in your favor? The choice is yours, and it starts now. Leave your command for your greatest desire in the comments so the universe can begin manifesting the life you deserve. Thank you for watching this video. If you feel this message reached you for a greater reason, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and activate the notification bell. This helps us continue sharing content that can transform other lives that need inspiration like this. We've left a special gift for you in the pinned comment or the video description to assist in your transformation. Today, you were invited to see beyond the illusions that kept you trapped for so long. Today, you were reminded of who you truly are: a creator, an architect of your reality, an infinite being with unparalleled power. Until the next video, and remember, you are the creator. Just start creating the life you've always dreamed of and deserve. Peace and light to all.